We gotta start winning some rounds here. Starting to throw a little bit.
He just challenged me ramp, so I'm gonna go kill this guy real quick. Even with 100 ping, I'll kill him. Yep.
So fucking clean. Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Unmuted. I'm just trying to do away with the fucking hey guys, you know? Last time out, I played some Siege with the boy Bwylo while he christened plebs with the Gone 6 and made his minions lose their absolute minds.
I love you, bro! Oh my god!
Yeah, love you too, homie.
But this week, we are running some good old CS, and I will be joined by a very special guest. That's right, we've got Jonathan Jablonowski, aka EliGE, aka Johnny Jabs himself, the Grand Slam winning longtime rifle god of Team Liquid, and one of the greatest North American players ever to make Counter-Strike's acquaintance. I sat down with EliGE back in mid-September, and we talked about Liquid's glow-up, discussed the mystery surrounding Source 2, and found out exactly why it is he insists on using default gun skins. Let's get into it. I think this is sort of the year where in the operation, like this fall, I think matchmaking rework has to come. Like, I just don't think Valve have any excuses anymore. Like with Valorant out here with 128 tick and an intrusive anti-cheat, right? Like giving you everything that FACEIT gives you in a free-to-play game, right? Like, what do you think, you know, do you think the timer's run out on this? Like, do you think that like, it's really sort of like no excuses territory now for Valve in terms of matchmaking?
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's been no excuses territory for years. I've actually written about this a couple of years ago. I think I did a twit longer specifically about how MM needs to change for the better. Like I specifically like noted how, you know, other top competitive games have leaderboards, they have seasons, they have incentives for people to want to play matchmaking. Like in League, if you got gold, then you'd get like some victorious skin, right? Or like if you got platinum, then you get like a totem skin, or reward skin, I mean. So there's all these incentives that people have, and obviously the competitive aspect of it where, you know, getting to top 500 if it's Overwatch or Radiant, there's those incentives where people want to show off how good they are. But there's also the incentives for the casual player to be like, I want to get this skin, I want to get this ward skin, this sounds really fun. And it's also a big thing for viewership too. For viewers, they want to see somebody try to get rank 1.
I know, man.
For CS, like, what is it really? Like, there's no leaderboard that's really anyone cares about.
I agree with you. Like, it's super sick, you know, people tweeting out like I hit rank 1, you know, on the Valorant leaderboards or whatever, right? Like, it's something to play for. Like, there was
what
some
am I
type
gonna
of
do, leaderboard,
right?
like people would actually watch it and play it. Like, I wish that I had something that I could grind for to play for. And it's kind of funny actually too, like the Valorant players, they all are just like, oh, I wish that I had FPL. And FPL is awesome. There's so many opportunities for like players to find teams and also the financial aspect of it, but I don't know, I feel like I've seen in Valorant people can actually get on a top team or get a tryout on a top team because of what they're showing on the leaderboard.
Yeah, it's true, right? Like, how do you discover, like, yeah, FPLC is a thing, FPL is a thing, but like, you know, discovering people through ranked is a tried and tested way, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's hoping, you know?
I mean, I really wish that they would, but I think that it's been something that has come up many times in the past. Oh my god, I thought it was a knife round.
You're so used to it, yeah.
Yeah, but I hope they fix it. EliGE.
Galil.
I have a flash for middle. Are you playing A? Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, green.
Good question, man.
2 apps actually.
Oh, you're green.
Yo, you got some nice gloves, man.
Just 1 apps.
Bombs B.
Bombs apps, yeah. Oh, 50 short of an M4, dude. Ask me anything. Come on.
It's like the decision, do you want a FAMAS or do you want an MP9?
Dude. Yo, I was watching that game yesterday between, it was FaZe and Big, right? And Rops was farming with an MP9, dude. And I was just like, man, you can't get those kills with the FAMAS, I swear to God. MP9 is insane, dude.
MP9 is so good. But I like the
It's
FAMAS too.
busted.
It's super underrated. Look at there's someone ramp. I think so.
I'm gonna flashing over. It's in front of you.
Tetris still.
Do you prefer the FAMAS or the Galil?
I prefer the FAMAS, actually. Like, if I'm a T, I'm not going to pick up a FAMAS over a Galil, but mentally, I like the FAMAS more than the Galil.
I hate the Galil, dude. That gun stresses me out.
I think the RNG, like, statistically is, like, less on the FAMAS compared to the Galil, so I think it's a lot easier to spray with.
You want to get on my head
and be
crane
accurate.
off ankle?
There's one outside TV, he's kind of low. Oh my god, he
There's one more
Good
back
job.
apps.
I'm gonna walk push it.
You're insane.
Shoot head sometimes.
So speaking of shooting heads, man, I feel like people have said this like trepidatiously 18 times over the last two and a half years, but it sort of feels like Liquid are back? Question mark?
I mean, we're playing pretty good. We're pretty up there on the HTTP ranking right now, but I mean, there hasn't been a ton of games since the player break, but overall, I think that we're playing really well, and even since Blast, I think that we could have even played better from then. So, I think we're really confident. One was out top mid. And yeah, things are going well.
I just smoked. I just smoked market window for maps.
One's out top mid boxes. Top mid boxes and share. Nice.
He's dinked top mid, 99. I lit this motherfucker 99, dude. Come on. Yeah, so no, I mean, it's like, I feel like you guys are actually, you look really good. Obviously, you guys have Nitro back. And I know you've had him back for like a little while, obviously. But I just mean like, it feels like sort of, you know, the boy's kicking. The boy's in full force. I know you and Nick obviously go way back. In particular, you know, I know you've been asked about it before, but sort of like, what's it like to not just have Nitro back, but actually like, you know, be slamming with him again. You know what I mean? Like be kicking ass with him again.
I mean, there's definitely been like a learning curve when he got back, just getting like used to everything, and there's been a lot of meta shifts. And us as a team has had to learn that. I think YEKINDAR has been helping us with a lot since he's a really knowledgeable player, and I think everything together has made it feel really good just playing in general on the second half of the year and everything. And yeah, Nick's been playing super well, especially at Blast.
People have been throwing around the term Valorant buff for a while now, man. Like, it's,
everyone's looking for any buff out there at all right now.
Yeah, dude, whatever it takes, you know, even if you gotta go play Valorant for a year. Yeah.
I mean, he was chilling. He was just, you know, not having to do the crazy travel that we were doing for a bit. Winning the first strike, feeling good.
Yeah, dude. But I want to ask you about YEKINDAR, dude, because I got thoughts. And I don't want to, you know, talk about your team dynamics better than you can, but like I just want to ask, like, you know, what do you think that YEKINDAR lends your team? Because I think it is a shit ton.
Yeah, I mean, he fits really well role wise.
I got bomb in
We really
palace.
needed like another player that is aggressive, that can like share those duties of making the entries happen. But he's also really knowledgeable in like just mid-rounding and you know, macro game. Really knowledgeable in that area, and that was the biggest thing that we were lacking, honestly. It's just like our macro game needed a lot of work. There's a lot of things that like we weren't understanding or not knowing, and it makes it a lot easier to play, obviously, if you're, you know, making the right calls in the macro game. So I think that it's been really nice just overall how many things that he brings, and I mean, we've been super lucky to have him.
Is it just like he gains a shit ton of intel and is able to basically not only relay it to you guys, but sort of like talk about, you know, like make mid-round calls, right? And say like, okay, this is where they are, this is what they're doing, this is what I think we should do.
Well, that, but most of the games, honestly, we've been playing are pretty like scripted, like where we'll have some type of certain opening, and there's only so many things that like other teams are going to respond to it with. And we're trying to just pre-plan most of that, so there's not as much thinking that needs to happen. Just because there's just there's so many limited options of what the other team is going to react to, whatever the opening of our strategy is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. That does make sense. Yeah.
And he's been like a big help in creating like those game plans. Yeah. Mid round he is obviously super good at too, but definitely the preparation of everything has been the hugest of help.
That was just nothing BFs. Watch, I'm having my knife out. Or you're just gonna kill all of them because you're EliGE.
Everyone go ramp, I'm gonna go pals.
We should knife last.
I plan for CT. Oh, CT! I have 11 HP. I can't really plant. Yeah, still CT.
Good CT.
We should knife last.
Still window. Nice, GG's guys.
I've been teaching my fiance how to play CSGO because she had never, like, it's just never played TAC FPS before. So, like, I was, teaching her with Valorant a little bit, and she was kind of getting into Valorant. And then I was like, come play CS. Like, you'll have fun. She's really enjoying it. And this is all to say that, bro, the number of cheaters in Untrusted is actually mind-blowing. Like,
yeah.
When I say, bro, like, it is, we play, like, she and I will do, like, a unranked, Mirage, right? Like what we're about to play, right? Just, it's a 3v3 hack lobby. I swear to God.
I believe it. I mean, even in normal MM, I've had so many encounters with cheaters. Like, every now and then, like, throughout the years, starting from, like, 2015, I would start playing MM. I just do like, a couple games to try to get global. And they're always the hardest thing, especially like in NA. I feel like there's a disproportionate amount of cheaters in NA that are just rage hacking, aim botters, or they have such awareness that like they would actually be pros the way that they're playing, right? Which obviously they're all cheating. Yes. So it's so hard. And it's kind of funny because maybe this is where like the disproportionate like amount of responses that I get when I talk about this like on stream or whatever. And I think that in EU there's actually way less hackers, like in MM specifically.
I don't think people realize how much less of a problem MM is in Europe than North America. Like, and obviously people still play Faceit in EU, don't get me wrong, right? But like MM in EU is like serviceable. Like, it's like you can play it, right? Like, it's not that.
In the past years, it was good. Like 2018, 19, 17. Like, I would queue up MM in Europe while I was there just to get global. And when I'd come back to NA, I can't even play. It would just be a hack fest.
It's brutal. It's horrible, yeah. What do you make of, like, EG's main lineup? It sort of seems like there's been so much drama. I just forced up without even thinking of it.
You're good.
I'm not looking for any like juicy scoops. I'm just sort of, you know what I mean? They've obviously really been in the headlines for the last, like, 6-8 months, right?
Yeah, they've definitely had a lot of stuff going on, but I think that Nealon is actually pretty knowledgeable. Like, everything that I've like heard about him and talking to him a little bit at Blast, like, he seems like a smart guy, and I think that he can bring like a lot of good stuff to the lineup macro-wise, since I think that he's been playing at a pretty good level before with his former team.
Last one was A ramp.
Okay. Upper B.
He's apps, yeah. Damn.
Oh.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I think that they have a lot of good promise. Like, they just look better in the games. Like, they weren't able to get over like the finish line in a lot of like the big matches that they played so far. But you can see like there's been a noticeable difference. And it's funny because even talking to Nealon at Blast, we were talking about some of the things that like both teams of ours have like went through. And YEKINDAR obviously was on a Russian-speaking team, and the way that they have callouts is like with numbers. Like, all of their positions are by numbers. There's like some sort of system to it, but they're very specific. And they have to do that like NA callouts just in general are way more difficult. And they had to be way more specific with more of their callouts, naming more things, changing the callouts so there's not as much ambiguity. So it's kind of cool like seeing that. I guess. You know, it's just like small steps, like a lot of like these macro small steps to improving. Nice. Nice job. Two going up cap, by the way.
Oh, 2 going up cap?
Oh. Oh.
I'm not gonna style on him that hard.
Let's go cat.
Oh! I'm a liege, dude! I'm fucking a liege!
Nice shit.
I'm fucking a liege, dude!
That was sick.
Holy shit. That was clean, right?
Yeah.
A few moments later.
Alright, we gotta start winning some fucking rounds here. Starting to throw a little bit.
He just challenged me, Ram, so I'm gonna go kill this guy real quick. Even with 100 ping, I'll kill him. Yep.
So fucking clean. So speaking of Valorant, do you ever? I remember watching you stream, like you play with Jonas when you guys were in Europe. I think this was like last year. Like, do you ever play the game for fun? Like, what's your sort of like opinion of Valorant, just like from a game standpoint?
I mean, I think it's fun, of course, like playing TAC FPSs. I honestly have not played it. Like, I think I played it like once in the past couple months playing with one of my friends that only plays Valorant now. I don't really like have people that like I play with normally for it, so I don't like have like a desire to play it. And I feel like it's so different mechanically to CS. So it kind of, I don't know, I feel like it kind of like throws me off my game a little bit when I play Valorant and CS.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I'm sort of, and I have fun with it. Like, I actually think it's sort of a fun game, but I just find that if I try to go play Valorant for fun and then come back and play CS for real, I just like, oh, it just makes me such a bad CS player, you know? Like,
Yeah,
oh my God.
I just feel like I don't have any time either. Like, I've just had zero time to like play other games like that for fun.
Yeah.
And I usually don't get into other hobbies unless I can like go really into them, because I'm not gonna enjoy like being bad at like a game. It's just like kind of annoying for me, like dying to like dumb things or not knowing like what I should be doing in certain moments.
One push me.
Stopping window.
Unlucky,
What was that,
dude. What the fuck? So speaking, okay, because I just noticed your AK, I was using it. So the default skins, man. I know you've told this story before, but for some of our viewers who don't know, it's so gangster. It's so sick. It's so sick. But you gotta like recount for us, like what is the story behind the EliGE default skin obsession?
So it's like it actually happened because I remember I was playing a game on Nuke and some guy dropped me a StatTrak M4A4 X-Ray, but it was just a name tag StatTrak M4A4 X-Ray, and it wasn't even StatTrak. And I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. That's such a good idea. And that was like what initially sparked it for me. And I was like, dude, I could do this with everything. Like I bought my own X-Ray and I put on like a name tag for the StatTrak. And then I was like, I'm spending way too much money on skins. And I just decided to stop spending any money on skins, like from that point onward, honestly, because I usually want like the best of everything, or I don't want like it at all. So I'm like, I'm gonna just save my money, and I think that's a sick idea. Name tags actually look pretty cool on some of the guns, like on the USP. I think like the name tag like accent on it makes it look cooler.
Yeah.
And I always like hoped that one day Valve would put on some StatTrak counters that like you can just attach to a vanilla gun, but still so far nothing.
Do you ever get tempted? Do you ever be like, you know, like maybe I'll buy myself some sick skins now?
Nah, it's kind of like my thing now, and it's like the same thing as before. But I actually don't really like borrowing like at all. Like I don't really like borrowing things like from people just like in general. I'd rather like have my own thing or just like not have it at all. And obviously to have a sick inventory is just way too much money. So both of those things just keep me away from it.
You brought back default skins. You made default skins cool, that's a tall order, man. I was gonna ask you, so obviously the other thing everyone's talking about, the Source 2 conspiracy. As someone who does play the game for a living, like, do you actually think Source 2 matters? Are you excited for it? Are you like, do you think it'll ever come? You sort of like, what do you make of all this hysteria around Source 2?
I don't know. I've like definitely looked at all of those rumors as well, and it's kind of, at least from what more knowledgeable people have said, is that like it's not even gonna like make that big of a difference. And if it can even ever come, it's pretty hard to say as well, because you know, from those more knowledgeable people, there's apparently some spaghetti code, like who knows like how much can get implemented without breaking things. I'm sure that's probably like one of the biggest problems with it. But,
Seems like it's the biggest one.
yeah, but even if there is anything, like if CS did get ported to Source 2, like I don't even know what's gonna change. Like there'll probably be some more capabilities, but I don't know what they couldn't do right now that would necessarily be better that they couldn't do before. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they could have a matchmaking system right now if they wanted to. They could. Like, Dota had a matchmaking system before Source 2. They could have one in CS as well. It would, like, same engine, both were on Source. So I don't know. I feel like the more meaningful changes that I would get actually excited for, they could do without changing the engine. Let's just rush B.
Oh, I didn't buy a window flash. Damn. I bought armor.
We don't need flashes.
Yeah, we have EliGE, bro. EliGE on a hundo ping. That's the dream. I think I gushed him. No, he's dead. We haven't cleared backside. New box clear, dark clear. We don't have any smoke, so this plant's gonna be super scuffed.
You gotta just blend
You
it
see
with the coffin.
CT? Oh god! Okay. I gotta live dangerously. Attaboy. Give him to
I
him
actually
dirty.
missed my first knife.
That's so funny. I hate this f***ing map, dude. Inferno is like literally my least favorite map in the game. It's not even close.
I don't mind it.
I really
It's just
hate
not
it.
fun in pugs for me. In a team setting, it's not bad.
Okay, well, there's a scout top mid who just killed 2 of us. It's you, me, and this rando. I'm gonna try to come
I'm just
up.
working banana right now.
Oh, 2 pushing up middle. That's one. One more alt mid. I'm bad and missed. He's lit 95.
This other guy
Teammate should
will
kill him.
be,
Yeah, you
but
got him. It's 2v1.
I'm just gonna do this.
He's Scott.
I was pretty sure this guy was B.
So speaking of maps, EliGE, your favorite map? What's your favorite map in the active duty map pool?
Oh, I usually like whatever map that I'm the most comfortable on. So I would say,
It's a cop-out answer.
I don't even know. I still feel like, I like Mirage a lot, I guess. I feel like I'm comfortable on both sides there. I think it's a dynamic map where there's so much stuff that's going on, like on both sides. I think it's the best map. I mean, it's the most played map, so makes sense.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff on Mirage and like how stale it is. And, like I actually, okay, dude, you gotta calm down. Like these kids have families, bro.
One by one.
You gotta chill. Flashing out apps. You're literally f***ing, you're 9-0 after 3 rounds. Like, f***ing chill, dog.
You know how it is.
I'm actually with you. There's a lot of hate on Mirage. I mean, I agree the map is a little stale, but like, I do think it's like basically the closest thing CS has to a perfect map. I do wish B-site was a little bit less ratty. I don't know if you agree. I sort of feel like there's some angles on B-site that are like really frustrating to clear, you know?
Yeah, it's just like the nature of like map design. If you have like 2 big sites, like the T's just won't have enough utility. What it is. So you kind of have to always have one small site, one big site. Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah.
What the?
I don't know, I think it's such a well-designed map overall. Like, how do you even change it? And I feel like the hate for it is kind of just, you know, hating the thing that everyone loves just to be a contrarian type of thing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's like, you guys all like root beer? Well, I actually don't like root beer. I like Pepsi. Like, it's just like that type of thing.
Yeah, the things that I would change and like whatever. I mean, I'm not a fucking pro player, but like the things that I would change are like so fucking minimal that like I think, for instance, that the top part of bench should probably be wall bangable. I do think that it can be a little bit too much of a power position sometimes with an op, but CT dead.
Bench, like at B.
Oh shit, one more sandbags. Oh, the fucking molly was clouding him. Yeah, like bench on.
There's definitely things that could be changed, but I think overall, it's just because people think the map is too stale. Because it's just been in the map pool for years. But on the flip side of that, people don't actually even like playing new maps. You know?
That's a separate
The
conversation.
new player,
yeah.
like the player base says they want new maps, and then Ancient comes out, and it's probably the least played map right now, and people don't want to learn it. And it was the same thing when Vertigo came out too. People still have not played Vertigo, honestly.
Speaking of maps, Tuscan. What are your thoughts on the map? Like, do you like it from what little you've played of it, or a lot? Like, I don't know how much you've played of it.
Honestly, I've only played it in like one DM, and I felt like it was too busy. That's like my thoughts of it just from playing it in DM, is that it felt really busy, and it was hard to see certain things because of how many textures there are. So I would like if it became a little bit more simplified, like texture-wise, and it would be a little bit nicer. But for now, like, I'm not like a big fan of it. Layout-wise, like, I don't think it's even changed that much since 1.6. But when I just like spawn in, I can't even tell where I am, even though I've played that map for years.
Yeah, bro, I died to a guy who pushed sewer. It was the funniest thing, and I forgot sewer existed, right? I was literally just like, bro, what the f? Where is this guy? He's on site, what the f? And then I was just like, oh, he's sewer. I forgot about sewer.
Let's go, yeah, let's
That's
go.
just you and me. I killed 2A players.
I guess they're just saving. Well, we're both dead, so I'm just gonna blow up.
Fuck it, right? Oh, motherfucker.
Well, he might even be dead. That guy's actually gone. I lived! Let's go!
Oh, you can pick up the op, too.
Oh, true. I got it.
That's funny as hell.
Why the fuck are we up against a guy with 12k hours?
Seriously? That is funny. Playing trusted, like untrusted, no less. Oh, I'm flash?
That's what one of the guys on YouTube said.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying we were up against funny as hell. So what map do you think Tuscan should replace? Because it sort of feels like I've heard hot takes of people say that it's not going to replace anything, and that it's going to be the 8th map in the active duty pool. But I'm curious, like, what you think.
I'm always gonna be biased, but I would say nuke. But I don't actually think that's probably what would happen. I think the map that should always be replaced is the least played map. Like, unless it's been like a recent addition map, then it should always be the least played map.
What is the actual least played right now? Like, I haven't kept up with the statistics recently.
I'm not sure what is the least played. I think it might be Overpass.
Oh, I mean, I'm down for Overpass to go. But I also just, like, secretly have a sort of vendetta against Overpass. I hope they remove it, to be honest. I also think it needs a little bit of a rework. I've watched some of those Betway interviews where they ask pros, like, you know, what do you think? And they all say the same thing, which is just that, like, I have bomb. Which is just that, like, it's stale.
That's just like CS in a nutshell, honestly. These maps, we've been playing the same maps for half of a decade.
Well, I can't wait until... I'm glad Liquid are back. I can't wait until the Major when...
Same. Same.
Yeah, you excited for the Major? You psyched?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing really well coming into the Major. Like, even we got like EPL coming up, and I mean, we're coming off of really hot placings. At Blast, we played really well. At Cologne, for our first event, we were playing really well for like a limited amount of time. And, you know, preparing for EPL, we're also playing really good. So everything just feels good, and we still have a whole month up until the Major. So even if anything does go wrong, if we wanted to adjust anything, we have tons of time to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling good.
It's gonna be a sick Major too, man. Like, I'm pretty sure, viewership wise, attendance wise, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be probably the biggest CS:GO Major ever.
I think so. I'm super excited to play, and all of the teams are shaping up so well, like, coming into it. Like, even if you look at like all the teams right now, I don't think that everyone's gonna assume a clear winner by this Major. Like, in the next month, I think there's gonna be enough conflicting mixed results, like, during these tournaments, that people aren't gonna, like, obviously there's gonna be like a favorite and like a couple teams that are most likely to win, but it's not like you're gonna go into a tournament like you just knowing who's gonna win, because those tournaments are boring, right? Like, you want to see a brawl, you want to see like all these teams, you know, competing for it, crazy games back and forth. No one wants to see a stomp, and I think that it's shaping up like a really competitive Major.
I know what you're saying when you say that, and I completely agree, but like, John, like, dude, like You guys could probably stand to win a couple more 4v2 post plans. I'm just gonna say, like, I have seen Flom exit the room screaming at the top of his lungs, man.
It happens. You know, it happens to everybody. Everyone makes those mistakes, you know?
It's true. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. It just feels like with Liquid, I am never more afraid for it. Let's put it this way. If you guys are down 3v5 and there's like 37 seconds left in the round and you're on T side, I actually believe you guys can win. I believe that NAF can make some crazy rat pick and find you guys an opening. I believe that YEKINDAR can do. If you guys are up 5v2 and they have deagles, I'm fucking terrified, bro. I'm so fucking scared.
Don't worry. We're cleaning that up. We're cleaning that up just in time for the major. It's gonna be clean. You know, I was saying before that we wanted a competitive major, but honestly, I'm down to just win it easy as well. Like, we'll see how these games go soon, and we'll see how easy it's gonna be.
Yeah, you take an easy major as well. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
For the viewers, like maybe we'll make them close games just for the viewership. So if that happens, then that is what happened. But if it's easy, you know, we had to do it.
Yeah, I had to do it. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that. You've been so generous with your time. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Especially, not only is it a pleasure to interview you, I'm really glad I got to do it again, but it is genuinely an honor to play Counter-Strike with a player like yourself.
Thanks, man.
I'll hand it off to you if you have any shout outs, any just sort of a sign off. Like, I want to sort of give the floor to you and you can say your piece.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't even know what I'd say right now.
Liquid's gonna win the major.
We're gonna win the major, guys. 100%. Easy. We're just gonna leave it at that.
All right, bro. I'll leave it at that, and thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Unmuted on theScore Esports with the boy EliGE, and thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.
I would say that's like my number one advice is if you're losing to something, learn how to do it yourself. Do it to somebody else. I'm sure somebody is going to own you and know how to beat you.
That's good advice.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's what I always try to do. Like, if we ever are losing to something or something super sick, I'm just gonna do it as well. And if I keep owning everybody, well then, that's just. I mean, I'm just gonna use it as much as I can, and I'm just gonna keep winning. And somebody eventually will find an answer. And you could always theorycraft it yourself, but you know, sometimes you do just find some type of gem of a strat or spot or whatever it is, and it takes time for someone to figure it out.